We're skimming through the Book of Boba, The Eternals reaches Disney Plus, Peacemaker making some noise, and stop seeing Spider-Man. What's that about? I'm James.
I'm Jamie. This is the Hub on Hollywood.
All right, Jamie, we have a jam-packed episode on this for this week. A lot of new things we've watched, some things that have been out for a little bit but are new to us and new for a lot of people.
Okay.
And we will be getting into that, including the Eternals, Peacemaker that just debuted on HBO Max. The first 3 episodes are out. What are my thoughts? What are our thoughts? Spider-Man news.
Yes.
But first, we have to talk about the Book of Boba because
We do.
this was very much anticipated by myself, at least, and especially following off The Mandalorian's, smash success and, great work and great storytelling. I was really looking forward to the Book of Boba, but I guess, we're learning that we may be on the same page, leaning on that side where we may be a little underwhelmed. Is that right for you?
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I just want to apologize in advance to my aunt, who is a huge Star Wars fan, BC. I'm sorry, it's not, maybe it's just, we have to wait a little bit longer. Maybe we're not just there yet. But yeah, a little bit underwhelmed. So for those of you, let's catch you up on it. Boba Fett, it picks up right after he escapes, and it shows you how he escapes the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine after Luke Skywalker drops him in there. And Boba Fett, where?
After that amazing battle,
I know, I loved it so much. So it shows you how he escapes the Sarlacc pit. It shows he's with the Sand People for a time, and he gains their trust, and how he becomes sort of a big deal on Tatooine, how he earns the trust of the locals, and he works his way up to become crime lord, and ultimately, apparently, he has taken over Jabba the Hutt's role.
Somebody has to.
As the top crime boss.
A void's been created.
Right, there was a void, and Boba Fett is stepping up, and he is filling it. He is there. So the problem is, it's just he's lost a little bit of that mystique for me. He takes his helmet off a little too much, for one.
I think so too.
But he went from being like this dynamite bounty hunter who's great with the ladies and so mysterious to kind of like an old guy who's injured, who's playing politics on a sand planet, and so far it's meh compared to what we've had. You know what I mean? There are some cowboy westernish elements there that I really enjoy, and I enjoyed it in The Mandalorian. But I think Mando did it better, James. It did it better. And there's no Baby Yoda. Can you really compete?
There's no Baby Yoda, but there's a giant Rancor.
By your side?
There's a giant baby Rancor of some sort.
Yeah, I suppose the Rancor is like his Baby Yoda. It's his pet. I don't know, but what did you like? What did you notice? It's just, for me, it's not doing it yet.
I agree. I was initially the first episode. I wasn't underwhelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I was whelmed, but I was expecting more. I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but I was expecting a little bit more. I did like seeing him escape from the Sarlacc pit. That was nice. I do like how they definitely giving Tatooine and the Star Wars universe. They're showing more details and giving more behind the scenes of look of what daily life looks like. So that I appreciate. I do like how they treated the Sand People, showing how there are many different tribes, but they're indigenous to the planet. But of course, all these other, people from different planets and different areas.
Space colonizers.
Yeah, pretty much colonizing Tatooine.
Yeah.
And so I understand it gives more background of what they experience, and they're not just, that evil group that nobody can trust or they attack for no reason. It gives more history and backstory to at least one certain tribe that we looked at that helped initially enslave Boba, but then he gained their trust and is able to walk amongst them peacefully, and they learn from each other. So I did like that aspect, and I do like that they are building this world around Tatooine and more Star Wars lore. But I do admit that with Boba, I do see that mystique you mentioned is gone. I do agree that there's a little too much of taking away of the helmet. And again, I know that Star Wars is for a wide variety of people and different ages too. So I could see them, not. I guess they are kind of making Boba Fett a little more relatable and not so Clint Eastwood-esque, being more appealing to younger audiences. So I could see that, but I'm not sure if this is what I was expecting. Again, we are only 3 episodes in, and so though I do like the world building, I'm not sure if I'm 100% yet, attached to this version of Boba Fett.
I want the swagger. That's why, if he's going to be a space cowboy as well, and he's not an actual Mandalorian, he just has the armor. Like, I was just really hoping for that character to be a little bit Han Solo-esque. I don't know, to have that swagger, to have that charisma, more than what we've been shown so far.
And I don't think it's due to acting. I think it's just the writing of the script, because Tamira Morrison is a great actor. So I don't fault him. And,
no knock on him.
And again, this may be just very early on into the season with these characters that we're still getting used to. That could be kind of rubbing us the wrong way. But so far, I'm not head over heels with this new series. So not there yet.
No, but I do have a favorite part.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so by far, I think the funniest part for me so far with Boba Fett was episode 2, where it was essentially like Sand People Driver's Ed.
Yeah.
Where he got the land speeders and he's teaching them how to drive the land speeders and they're falling off, and it was funny, it was relatable, it was westernish. I it was like, the cowboy teaching the natives how to, I don't know, but it was really funny for me. I love that. Boba Fett Driver's Ed.
Yeah, one thing I thought was pretty funny, and not funny in a good way, unfortunately, was the in episode 3, the band of young misfits, who are those young hooligans. They're on their speeder Vespas. I know that was called out by a lot of people, saying like they're just weirdly, like, it's very colorful for being in Tatooine, and again, the speeders looked very Vespa-ish, and if you rewatch the episode,
and they were going slow.
They were going very slow. It was a very slow speed chase, and so that I'm like, okay, come on, guys. I know it could be a little bit better. I did like when they brought back the Rancor, and so it's going to lead into eventually Boba's going to be riding that thing, and so that'll be fun to watch, because I know that was in the extended universe and has been in some of the literature showing Boba riding those, and so that might be interesting. Maybe we're just being too critical of this new series.
I think we've just been so blown away by the content that we've gotten so far, and I think The Mandalorian set the bar so high. It's like, how can you recreate that? You know what I mean? It's not bad in the least. I think there's just, I don't know. Yeah, there was a little bit of expectation there that hasn't been met yet, but we love the character, and we're just waiting to see what else happens in the season. I like how it's connecting to the greater Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited to see where that goes. It's this is all happening concurrent with the Return of the Jedi and the end of the Empire. So I'm sure as we get later into the season, we'll see a little bit more of that influence. So that'll be exciting to see. There's much more to come, so I haven't given up on Book of Boba Fett yet.
Yeah, the one thing that I will note, lastly, is we can officially say Danny Trejo is in Star Wars. He is in the Star Wars universe. He is in the galaxy far, far away. He is the Rancor instructor, the handler of some sort, but Danny Trejo officially in Star Wars in legend and in lore. So kudos to Danny Trejo. Let us know what you think about the Book of Boba. Are you hooked? Are you growing on it like we are trying to grow on it right now? Comment down below and hit us up on all our social medias. But I want to hear about what your thoughts are on the Eternals, because we both just watched this, because the Eternals, though it came out a little while ago, it just premiered on Disney Plus.
That's right. So now it's finally on the streaming services and people can watch it at home. And I am going to echo the sentiment that I think a lot of people have been expressing, James, in that it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No, the reviewers are out here making it sound like it was this horrible, disjointed mess of a movie that didn't fit in anywhere, that was boring. No, it was a good movie. I thought it was solid. I thought it did a very decent job taking the time to develop the characters, to give them time to breathe and interact with each other and develop each other, and make them human. though they're apparently synthetic, made by Arishem,
Yeah.
and they're not, actual humans, but we'll get to that. But I think the problem here, or what might have been challenging, or what the critics might have been worried about, is that the movie has a lot of explaining to do. And I did see that.
Yeah.
It's like, Lucy, you got some explaining to do. It's, why didn't you help in the fight with Thanos? What are the Eternals? What are the Celestials? What is this? What is that? There's just so much explaining that has to go on to, kind of shoehorn these guys in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the reason for that is because they have so many characters. Because even though we are introduced to new characters in their own first movies, and like introducing them, you have one or two main characters you need to pay attention to. This one, you have like over half a dozen seemingly main characters, even though there are two definite main ones. There's a long list, and so yeah, that's part of the explanation. I felt like the first hour was reintroducing everybody and getting everybody in the same team again.
Right. And so they're individual. We got to get the team together. So they're going individually, and they're grabbing everybody, and they're getting the team back together to fight the threat of the deviants that are seemingly back, and now they can evolve, and it turns out to be something else. So I think that was a solid plot, James. I did enjoy that. Yeah, I did like the plot. I enjoyed it. So besides the explaining problem, I think that the only other part that bothered me, because I'm saying, this is a solid film. It's a solid story, solid characters. This is just nitpicking. This is just nitpicking at this point. The other part of it for me was, okay, if you are a synthetic being created by a celestial with the sole purpose of executing their will, and you're supposedly incapable of evolution, why are they so dang human? Why do they have emotions and free will and create relationships and all of that? That seems like a design flaw to me, you know, especially when the Celestial is trying to get rid of design flaws.
You want a program that runs 100% how you want to run it, yeah.
Exactly. So it just seems like that would be... it's an oversight or a plot hole, or I don't know that, but that's nitpicking. That's nitpicking, James.
Yeah, I would say my nitpicks would include just the fact that there are so many characters. You have to they of course have, again, like I said, main characters like Icarus and I'm blanking on the other Gemma Chan's character, but they're like the two main characters, but you have like about a dozen other people in this movie, and so one of my nitpicks would be just so many characters. Sprite, you don't have that much time to flesh out everybody, and also the first hour, like I said, seemed to be like this. Even though there was action sprinkled in, it felt like the slower hour of the movie, because again, they're introducing everybody, they're collecting everybody, they're traveling A, B, C, D, going to all these places. But the pros, like you said, the fun characters. The really good CGI work, the story was really good, and though I do like this movie a lot, I will say that I did enjoy watching it at home. And before the Eternals came out, in one of our previous episodes, I did mention that there wasn't that much hype for me for this movie. Maybe it's just because we just come off of Endgame and some other blockbuster movies, but I wasn't really rushing to the theaters to go see it. Again, this was during a pandemic as well too, so I wasn't really ready to take a risk for the Eternals. So I do not mind waiting this long because I avoided spoilers. Nothing too big to spoil in this movie because it is kind of standalone. But I did enjoy watching it at home and did not mind the wait.
Yeah, I liked Ajax, I liked Sprite, I liked all of them. I really enjoyed how these characters played off of each other. Everyone's a really great actor. I thought the ending, which we're not spoiling, but I thought it was a very satisfying, sort of culmination and conclusion, and an apex of the excitement and the action.
Yeah.
And it was satisfying to me. It felt a lot, okay, this is going to be weird. I don't know if you agree with me. It felt like a Muppets movie. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Okay, it felt like, like the Muppets, they're always like, everybody broke up and now they got to get the band back together, and they got to overcome
like every movie.
this. Yeah, in every movie, and they've got to overcome this like overwhelming challenge or whatever. Or the Blues Brothers, we got to get the band back together. It was like that. it was like that. But it's another, the world is coming to an end type of deal. I thought cinematically very beautiful. I didn't especially like the design of the deviants, but I did like the design of everyone else and the costumes and the way that the action was portrayed. I did like how it all came together very nicely.
There's some good action in here.
Yeah, there's some really great action. And now, I liked
one thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. No, I was going to say that I actually did like how the deviants looked. I know that was one criticism I heard about the movie, but I was expecting much worse. So maybe that's why my hopes or expectations weren't that high. But I thought the deviants looked not too bad.
Yeah. I feel like it just didn't get a fair shake from the reviewers, and then that scared everyone off.
The main deviant, I would admit, looked kind of wonky, but the ones on all fours and were more animalistic. That passed my checks and balances.
Yeah. So we did have one friend of ours, Alexandra Devaya, who did comment on our stuff that she wished that it was a little bit better, that she's a big fan of the Eternals and felt that it could have been more solid and better done. But I can see how there was, just so much that they had to cram in here, that I feel with the challenge of that they did a pretty decent job. And I don't think it's as bad as it was that we were led to believe. So I'm glad that we finally got to watch that. That's on Disney Plus right now. I'm not going to give away any of the major plot points or conclusions or anything like that. Go watch it for yourself, and have a good time doing that. Let us know what you think. Does it suck? Is it awesome? Is it somewhere in the middle? Let us know. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Just search for us, Hub on Hollywood. And you will find us, join the conversation, and have fun and get a shout out, just like Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Alex. Yeah, well, I know many people have not seen the Eternals yet, but one thing that everybody has apparently seen so far is that darn Spider-Man. Joe Biden is going after Spider-Man. He is Menace enemy number one. No? It's SNL's Joe Biden.
There you go.
So on the cold open for the first cold open of 2022, Joe Biden, played by James Austin Johnson, he blames all of the nation's problems on Spider-Man: No Way Home, the movie. He said, the one simple thing to make this darn virus, go away is stop seeing Spider-Man. The sketch is pretty funny. So in the sketch, this version of Joe Biden, he goes and again he puts all the blame on Spider-Man and everybody going to go see it. He goes, when did Spider-Man come out? December 17th. When did every single person get Omicron? The week after December 17th. Stop seeing Spider-Man. And then later in the sketch, he admitted that he and his wife wanted to go see Spider-Man, but everybody's still seeing it. So the theaters are full, and the only seats that are left are the ones right in the very front where you have to look up all the time. And he said that there was only one seat in the theater that he wanted to go to, and he couldn't just send his wife to go see, what was that second movie?
Encanto all by herself.
Yeah. I can't let her watch Encanto all by herself. And so that was really funny. I like this version of Joe Biden, and I thought it was a good cold open because again, everyone's talking about Spider-Man.
Well, it makes total sense. I think it makes total sense. Yeah, because everybody in America has seen it like 4 times, or at least wants to. Yeah. I know you and I want to go see it again.
It was the most jam-packed theater experience I've been in since the start of the pandemic.
Absolutely.
So I believe it.
And I think it's been the biggest theatrical hit since, what was it, Endgame? Where everybody was running to the theater.
Over $1 billion.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So, and it was just funny because in the skit he blames not only the pandemic on Spider-Man, the economy, the back to good or make good better whatever bill, not passing. It's because of Spider-Man. Everything is because of Spider-Man. Poor Tom Holland. I wonder what he thinks about all this.
And even a multiverse version of Joe Biden makes an appearance, showing that this version, this world that we're living in, is a alternative universe, and we see the real version of Joe Biden, the one that
I'm 100% with you on that one. Okay, because I think it's been since like 2016 or before then where I've been saying like we took a left turn, we're in the wrong dimension, we went down the wrong wormhole. This is not the right. This is the dark timeline. This is the worst possible timeline. Like, how do we get out of this? And that makes more sense that we're just part of a multiverse and we're in one of those really crazy alternate timelines. We got to get back to the right one, James. Let's go.
Yeah, so speaking about multiverses, we had to talk about, and also keeping on the Spider-Man train, Spider-Man Across the Universe. We got some new updates, some more details. We're getting new word from the co-creators, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, talking about how they're trying to up their game from the previous movie. Of course, the first one got rave reviews, not only for the story, but for the visual aspects to the film. You know, they use new technology and new kind of artwork to tell the story, and it comes across beautifully. And so they're trying to up their game. They're saying that those fans who liked the art style of the first one, they're going to be blown away by the second one pretty much. They said that they didn't want to do the same thing over again. The idea of going into different dimensions opened up the opportunity artistically to have the world have its own art style, and they wanted to make it look like each dimension had a different artist working on it. And so if you were a fan of how the first movie looked, you know, I did. Now I'm extra hyped to watch this new movie that's coming out later in 2022. One of my top, movies I'm looking forward to for this new year.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse, James, I think is as close to a perfect movie as you can get.
I agree.
So it's going to be really interesting to see whether they can either match that or outdo themselves. But that's really cool. Every dimension is like a different drawing style, and he keeps changing, and that's really cool. I can't wait to watch that. So, Into the Spider-Verse to Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Verses are doing very well right now.
Yeah, they're doing very well. And also, who's doing well? And now DC is dipping their toes into the multiverse, because for the next Flash movie, the one in the Zack Snyder universe, Michael Keaton, he's reprising his role as Batman, and Ben Affleck is reprising his role as Batman once again. Also, I think his last time he's reprising it. But everybody, when in doubt, go multiverse. When in doubt, bring out all the different versions of your favorite characters and bring them in. It's an easy moneymaker. But let me tell you what is also an easy moneymaker. Getting cast locally here in New England, being cast for a film, being cast for a TV show, and we have several for this week. Jamie, if you want, you can kick it off and see what's out there.
Sure. So we're going to start off with a movie called The Holdovers. This is through Boston Casting, and they are looking for real families who enjoy bowling. So if you've got a mom, a dad, a couple of kids, or any constellation of families, you like bowling together, and you can, take a couple of days this month, at the end of this month or into February, to hang out on a movie set. You're going to want to go onto the Boston Casting website, sign up with them, get the notifications, and let them know that your family wants to be in the Holdovers movie.
Slate Casting is searching for, they're casting men who can do a split for an upcoming TV commercial. Are you a limber, loose man who can do a split?
Oh, gosh.
This is for you. Yeah, you must be able to do a full split. So the rate pays $2,100 if you are cast. This shoots February 2nd and February 3rd in the Boston area. If you are cast, you must be able to provide proof of vaccination, and testing will be required 72 hours before you are on set. So if you are interested, and if you want to be considered, email slate self-tape at gmail.com, slate self-tape at gmail.com. Include your name, contact information, city where you're from, agent if you have one, photos of you doing a split. They want proof. They want verifiable proof that you can do a split.
You can't just say it. You got to prove it.
No. Send all that to slateselftape at gmail.com.
Cool. Also, James, for that Holdover film, it's going to be the first week of March for the family that would like to bowl, that likes to bowl. And Boston Casting wants you to send a candid front-facing photo of your family to Boston Casting Holdovers, plural, at gmail.com.
Okay. My latest show that I've been reviewing and just recently binged is a spin-off of the very popular new version of the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. Peacemaker making its debut on HBO Max recently, written and directed by James Gunn. So James Gunn back in the saddle. He's
We love
back.
James Gunn.
Love James Gunn. He does such amazing work, and I'm so glad that he's now in the DC universe after being in Marvel and, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy and everything else related. But here we follow John Cena. He's reprising his role as Peacemaker, who miraculously survives getting shot by Bloodsport in the Suicide Squad movie and recovers in the hospital, and he eventually gets released back into the real world, back at home. But, things aren't that simple. Things are never that simple because, of course, Amanda Waller, she still wants him to be a Black Ops operative for her, doing the deeds that normal superheroes don't do. And so this movie, really, really good. John Cena. I think John Cena fits this role so perfectly. Every role that he's been in previously, he's a really good actor, really good action star. But this one, it seems like he's just made for this role. Like, when I'm watching Peacemaker, the character, I don't see John Cena, the actor, John Cena, the wrestler. So he does really well in this role. A role that, asks for him to be kind of emotional and vulnerable. For being a very buff guy, he's very emotional and very vulnerable in this. So we find Peacemaker. He considers himself a superhero if you haven't seen the Suicide Squad, but he's more known, in the real world as a villain. People see his actions. Again, he thinks he's doing good. He'll kill any man, woman, and child in order to find peace. And so, of course, that doesn't fit well for many people. So we find him, he still wants to be a good person, still looking for approval, and he still has a lot of guilt for killing Colonel Rick Flag, which we saw at the end of the previous movie. Sorry, spoilers for the Suicide Squad, but you should be watching, you should have seen this movie by now, because it is really good. But in this movie, we find Peacemaker. He's partnered up with a team after he's back, and recruited to be part of this Black Ops team. Really fun. Again, from a James Gunn movie, you expect a really witty, really entertaining story, and that's what we get here. The acting is great. The casting, the supporting cast to John Cena, they're each individually funny, and they have their own personality, so that's fun to watch. Peacemaker has a pet eagle named Iggy. That character in and of itself is really funny too.
Well, I'm glad that John Cena has finally got like the stage name that he's always wanted. I know he's done interviews where he's like talking about all of the wrestlers who have all the cool stage names, and he's like, I'm John Cena. And I'm just John Cena, because it's just my name. I'm John Cena. And now he is this
Peacemaker,
guy.
Peacemaker, and he is enjoying. And he is enjoying. You can tell he's really having fun with this role.
I bet he is.
He really is. And I think there must be some kind of clause in all of his contracts in whatever movie he does, because in this movie, he's also, what we saw in Suicide Squad 2, he likes wearing tidy whities. And so, again, John Cena, a very buff, athletic man, and imagine him in tidy whities. And he's in them a lot. And you know what?
Let
if
me
anybody
take a
can
moment
pull
and
him off,
imagine.
You don't have to. You can watch it on HBO Max right now. And so because there are other movies that he's also appeared in as tidy whities before. So I don't know if it's just, he knows he looks good in them for some reason, or he's the only one who can pull them off. But John Cena, he pulls them off. And again, you wouldn't want to tell somebody.
He pulls them off? What?
Again, I'm not saying I'm in love with John Cena. I just acknowledge that his physique, he could pull that off.
Okay, yeah. He pulls that off. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he doesn't literally pull off.
Walter White, right?
He does not literally pull off the tidy whities. No, he figuratively pulls off the tidy whities.
There we go. Okay.
Get your head out of the gutter, Jamie.
I'm sorry. You just this is slow pitch.
You're gonna start watching that right after this episode ends. You're gonna put on Peacemaker right now.
You've sold it for me. You've sold it for me. Anyways, James.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think of Peacemaker. 3 episodes out, you said, right now?
3 episodes are out right now, and unfortunately, they kind of like The Mandalorian. They come out 1 week at a time, so you have to pace yourself. So you look forward to the next episode, which I am.
Okay.
So check it out.
Pace
HBO
yourself
Max.
on Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And so other things that I don't want to pace myself on, James, I can't wait for. When we talk about the movies that we can't wait that are coming out this year, I think we've already talked about a couple of them. But let's round off this episode. I think you wanted to chat a little bit about what we can't wait to see.
Yeah, like I said, Spider-Man Across the Universe, that's a given. I'm really looking forward to that. Also, the Batman, we have mentioned that before too. But also, Mission Impossible 7. Tom Cruise is back at it for another Mission Impossible, for another impossible mission, which is already slated to have a sequel. Mission Impossible 8 has already been greenlit, but again, say what you will about Tom Cruise, the man, the actor, the work that he does is really good. So I have to look forward to that. Also, Nope, another Jordan Peele movie. So kind of like Get Up, and with his follow up from Get Up. I'm blanking on it right now, but it's the one with the scissors, the horror movies. See, Get Out. So Get Out, Get Out is really good.
Thanks, Allie.
No, Get Out is one of those movies, and I'm thinking of the second movie. I need my research team over here. But Nope is the third movie coming out by Jordan Peele, and so looking forward to that. That's a big one. What about you?
Perfect. Yes. So I'm looking forward to a number of really cool films that have been shot here and around New England. So we've got Spirited, the Christmas musical with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell that's coming up at the end of 2022. I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston biopic. There we go. And then Mothership with Halle Berry. All of these just sound like it's a sci-fi thriller, alien abductions, like cool stuff. But all three of those movies are being shot here, have been filmed here and are in post-production right now, and may or may not have people that you recognize in them. So we're definitely looking forward to that. And my last pick for what I can't wait to see is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. So much is going to come out of that. And it's been really interesting. Speaking of multiverses, we touched on this earlier. Doctor Strange was supposed to come out before No Way Home. And because it was delayed and it was switched up, it's now coming out after. It really altered the plot of Spider-Man No Way Home. We were supposed to have America Chavez in No Way Home, who is this character we've yet to meet. We're going to meet her in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And her power is that she can create dimensional portals all on her own. Like, just, she has this natural ability. She's the only person in, the comic universe that can create these portals to other dimensions, also other timelines, other multiverses. So she's really powerful and interesting. But because we didn't have America Chavez in the No Way Home, we got Ned Leeds with Doctor Strange's ring making portals, to fill in the quite literal plot holes there because things had to get moved around. So it's really cool how these stories like change and alter and work into each other. And it's because, all of the directors and everybody that is working on the MCEU, they all work together in like one office space. All of the writers are collaborating, to make this a cohesive storyline over dozens and dozens of movies. And I think that is so cool. I don't think it's, ever been done before to the extent that they do it, and they do it so damn well. So I'm really looking forward to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, everything that is going to be tying together and where it goes from there, infinite directions, so that they can take our money for all time, James.
If they keep making great movies, they deserve my money. So
yeah, I know. Right?
So I won't be crying to the movie theater. I won't be crying. I'll be crying tears of joy. But that's great. That's great. Well, let us know what you think. What are you looking forward to this year? I know Lightyear is another big movie that's coming out. People are looking forward to Jackass Forever. I grew up with Jackass, and so I'm always good for another update to see where those guys are.
How are they
Black
alive?
Panther, Wakanda Forever.
How are they not dead yet?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Right.
Let us know what you're looking forward to. Yeah, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Which shot a few scenes here in New England as well, a chase scene in a tunnel where I forget her name. Letitia.
Yeah, Letitia. Berger.
Black Panther's sister, the actress who was here, she actually got injured on set while she was here in New England. So I'm hoping that she's doing well. But yeah, that movie's coming out, and they still haven't really released any details about how they're moving forward. Who is the new Black Panther? How are they going to explain his death, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? So all of that's still tightly under wraps.
Okay, well, let us know, guys. Comment down below. Again, thank you so much for watching us. If you are watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment down below. It really helps us out. If you are on the go, you can listen to us on any major podcasting streaming service, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're there. Also, we're on the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, @Hub on Hollywood. Give us a search, give us a follow, give us some love. But Jamie, until next week, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. See you next time.
Bye.